Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's EAHamm and I offer writing tips and encouragement to inspiring authors as well as writers who write every day. And I also talk a little bit about grief and how it affected my writing journey. And if that sounds like something that you would like to, listen to, just go ahead and click subscribe. And without further ado, let's get started with today's topic. Collab with Kaylee over at Kaylee White, and we came up with this topic. It's called how to come up with and implement story ideas or creating a story from scratch. And we've been working on this probably a little over a month, trying to go back and forth between our busy schedules and come up with the content for this. And I thought that I would just include it with Coffee with Liz because I just want to sit and chat with you today, make it more casual, and talk about how I come up with my story ideas and how I implement them. I want to talk about what inspires me first because as a writer, if you do write and you're watching this, you know that you can be inspired by just about anything. I know that life inspires me. I pay close attention to not only the people in my life, but to strangers as well. I like to observe. I'm more of a quiet, reserved type of person, and I'll sit back and I'll observe people around me. And I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, if you're my enemy, watch out. I don't even know how the saying goes, but it's basically talking about how, if you're like the enemy of a writer, you become the villain in their story. I probably butchered that completely. But honestly, it is true. Like, people around a writer will inspire them. And if you are an observer of human nature, whether it be how they talk, how they say things, their hand motions, how they interact, how they react in certain situations, and you often find that coming out in the characters in your story. Also, books inspire me. I read self-help books as well as books in the genre that I'd like to write. And currently, I'm reading a thriller novel just because it's somebody I graduated from college with and she just put it out and I want to be a support. But I've always been toying with the thought of possibly writing a thriller anyways because I love Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors. Like, he is really good at how he just brings out that human emotion of fear and everything. Basically, books inspire me. I will read in the genre that I want to write or am writing. YouTube also inspires me in that not a day goes by that I don't watch at least one video or something. I work a job that I feel very blessed to work, and I'm constantly typing, and I can multitask. I listen to YouTube as if it were a podcast, and I listen to other authors and writers give tips and tricks and just talk about their writing adventure. I don't do that all day, but I will do that. And YouTube inspires me. In fact, I just listening and knowing that I wasn't alone when I started listening to YouTube back, I think it was October of 2017, last fall. That really got the ball rolling with me in writing because for the longest time I didn't really have a big community. I felt very alone, and I thought, man, if I was a writer I would just get it done. I don't know. I let my mind take over, but now I'm getting the job done. Another thing that inspires me are movies and TV shows. And I like to watch a lot of young adult TV shows, to be honest. You know, Harry Potter is young adult. That's the movie series taken from J.K. Rowling's books. Um, I enjoyed the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. Um, Riverdale is another one that's taken from the Archie comics, and that's a TV show actually I've been binge watching on Netflix. Stories like 13 Reasons Why, just a lot of those. And also, I like to watch thrillers and stuff like that. So there's like a myriad of things that I like to watch. And I will get inspired, and not really I'm not copying what I'm watching, but just, I don't know. If you're a writer, you understand what I'm talking about. You'll be sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden, the idea, like you might have been stuck at a certain part, and these ideas start flowing. So pretty much that's what inspires me. How do I implement these inspirations or these ideas? Number one, I use both Google Docs and the Note app on my iPhone. And if you're not familiar with Google Docs, Google has a document type thing where you can, whatever you type in saves. And you have the ability to add other people to view what you're writing and edit it, or to just view it, or it can just be yourself. And there's an app you can download to your phone. So I just, I've taken to writing down all my ideas if I don't have a notebook nearby. Because for the longest time, I would write on pieces of paper, and then I would stuff them in my pocket, and then I would wash them in the washing machine, and there went those ideas. But of course, in this day and age of technology, we always have our phone. So I always, whenever an idea hits, I try to get that jotted down as soon as I can. And because I never know when exactly I'm going to use that. Number two, I have tiny notebooks also where I jot down. No, I'm still a little old fashioned where, you have those little notebooks with a little spiral thing on the end. Or the little ones, those pocket ones you can carry in your purse. I love stuff like that. I've written so many poems on those types of things, and I found poetry that I've written through the years on those. And another thing I do to implement these ideas, to actually get the ball rolling, when I decide on a particular story that I'm going to work on, I usually go out and I buy a brand new notebook. I buy pens, the whole 9 yards, because let's face it, as a writer, if you're like me, you like brand new notebooks, and you like a pen, and you like highlighters and bright things and glittery things, and you just buy, poster boards if you want to work on your storyboard, and you cut out pictures, and there's just so much to go with this creativity. And that's what I do to get the ball rolling. And once I have, I pick something, sometimes I'll comb back through ideas that I have had, and they can go within that particular storyline. And I'll start working on my outline, and then the rest is history. From there, you just start writing. So basically, that's how I come up with my story ideas, and that's how I get the ball rolling and implementing them. I'm in the middle of Camp NaNoWriMo right now, and I have to say that this idea that I'm currently working on, well, actually, the part of the idea happened back in 2013 when I lived over in West Virginia. And a friend of mine, a couple friends and I, we would go on hikes in Harper's Ferry. There was a trail there, the Appalachian Trail. And we would hike along there, and like the higher you go, you could see over the valley, and there's just so much history in Harper's Ferry. And I would pore over that, and the scenery was beautiful. There was just a lot for the imagination, and I couldn't shake this idea. So that's a part of where my story will take place in this new novel. And then the other part stems from more recent days of grief. It seems like the grief that I experienced is now coming out in my stories. So a part of that is, you know, being tied into this. I don't want to give too much away, but just life in general gives me ideas. Whatever we put in our mind is what's going to come out, because we write what we know. I wouldn't sit down and write a mechanic book on how to change a tire or how to change the oil, because I'm not that familiar with that and I don't know anything about it. But sitting here talking to you about how I come up with my ideas and implement them, of course I can tell you that. And basically, whatever we feed our mind is what we will write. So the best thing that I could tell you to do is to continue to read, continue to be open, continue to observe those around you, and just keep writing.